Welcome, MTL fans. We got another beautiful show for you today. It's a cold, sunny day in October. The leaves are out. Oh, wait. It's July. Not even. We're still in July. We're still in June. We're getting the show rolling for you boys. I got a great show for you. We're going to talk a lot. You're going to hear my rant about the NFL offensive ratings. You're going to talk about a little bit of the James Harden taking the plea deal. He decided to take his player option. We're going to spec into a little bit of the Eastern Conference. Finish that off for you guys. Markyll, you want anything to add? All right, you'll add it on the show. All right, boys, let's get into it.
All right, ladies and gents, we are back and we are going to kick off the show with some NFL news. If you guys don't already know, ESPN put out a list of the top offenses in the NFL. If and this is a big if you exclude quarterback and the offensive line. So I think for today's episode, we're going to go through 10 at a time, and we're going to stop at the very top of the list. All right. So, who do you think is number one, first of all? I don't think you've seen this list, so who do you think is number one?
Oh, I haven't seen the list. If I had to say anything, I would just put the Bengals at number one.
You would be close. The Bengals were number one last year, but this year they have the 49ers.
Wait, so the Bengals, oh, that makes sense. The Bengals aren't number one because they have no tight end. There you go. That's why.
Yeah.
They have no tight end.
That's exactly what they said. So 49ers number one, mostly for they say it's mostly because of Christian McCaffrey, which I would agree. They probably do have the best offense.
Okay. So we break that down. Okay. 49ers have Christian McCaffrey, Kittle, Deebo Samuel. What's his name? The second wide receiver. Big boy. What's his name?
They got Deebo. Brandon Ayuk,
there you go. Great number two. But then you got to think about the backup running back, right? McCaffrey has injury issues. They got Elijah Mitchell as backup running back, so they're fine. they're 100% fine. They just and there's just no quarterback though. So
yeah. Well, the list is excluding quarterbacks, so we're not putting quarterbacks into the equation. But I'm not mad at it. I feel like from the even though we have the better three receivers, I think Kittle's just such a good tight end. I feel like he equals like two receivers, so it makes sense to me. And McCaffrey's like a receiver and a half, if you want to be honest. All right, so number two we have Cincinnati. Last year they were ranked number one. And then 2 years ago they were ranked 13. So good for them. Just a little fall off, and I'm not mad. We don't have a tight end besides Irv Smith, and he's injury prone.
I don't even think you count that as a fall off. I mean, you go from 1 to 2, there is no fall off. You're just anything you stay in the top 5 is not a fall off.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so for the next 3, give me your guesses for the next 3.
If I had to
3,
guess,
4, 5.
I'd probably give the Eagles 4. I'd probably go Eagles 4. I'd probably go Jets 5.
You forgot 3. Who's 3?
I'm still mulling over 3. Like a big part of me wants to say they're just going to say the Chargers, but then I'm also thinking about Herbert in there. So I just know it can't be Herbert. So I'm just going to push everything 4 that I already have, and I'll just do Eagles, Chargers, Jets. I'll make it that way.
Okay, so yeah, you're right. Eagles are 3rd. 4th on the list, Seattle. Seattle's 4th.
I can understand that. I can understand it.
5th, they have the Chargers. So
okay, my only rebuttal to that is Seattle has no running backs besides Kenneth Walker, he constantly got hurt his rookie year, so that's not a good sign. But then I'm also throwing in the Jets, who had Breece Hall, and Breece Hall proceeded to get hurt. His was not one of those. It's like, oh, he always gets hurt. Man tore his ACL, so you can't. When like that happens, you can't really foresee that. But Kenneth Walker was always hurt in college, and he got hurt again.
Mm-hmm.
the tight end is Noah Fant, so we're putting such high praise on Noah Fant. Is it just so inflated that is because it's Lockett, DK, Noah Fant, and Kenneth Walker? That's what we think.
JSN too.
Okay, he's a rookie, right?
He's gonna be a damn good rookie.
Yeah, but like he's still a rookie. Rookies make stupid mistakes, and when you got a quarterback who I'm not sold on, like Geno Smith, like okay, that doesn't. My thing about Geno is like the league figured Geno out by the end of the year. But I get this. This is not based on quarterback, but if the league figured out Geno by the end of last year, just because you had a nice little weapon to it doesn't mean much, really. I mean, especially since you're gonna have to ask Lockett to move to the slot kind of thing. Lockett's never really played in the slot. He does do this sometimes, but like man's always been an outside threat. And you're not going to put GSN in the slot, and DK Metcalf.
Yes, I am.
DK Metcalf's not going in the slot. I don't know because Lockett's body frame is way better to be in the slot than GSN.
Isn't GSN kind of small too, though?
Yeah, but Lockett doesn't have the same speed that GSN's going to have anymore.
This is true.
Lockett's getting up there in age, man.
I'm sure they experiment with who they want inside versus outside.
Yeah, Lockett's got to be 31, right?
Okay, so Eagles were ranked 8th last year, so I guess they're just banking on everyone getting better, and they picked up Swift and who else did they pick up?
Well, so they're
Rashard Penny. So I guess they're thinking like, okay, you have two number two running backs.
Yeah, so
instead of who they have last year.
They had Gainwell and Sanders. Sanders was a bona fide number one, but we just get rid of our number one and get two second guys or two number two running backs. Make them split the carries. I mean, Swift can be a number one running back, but he's just never healthy enough to stay number one.
Yeah.
Same with Penny, in my opinion. But
yep, I'm right there with you.
I think you're putting a lot of. They still have Goddard, right? Because Ertz went to the Cardinals, so they're putting a lot of faith and weight on Goddard. Who last year was like the first time he never got hurt in a season. I just feel like they're putting a lot of weight on Goddard as a tight end, but he's a good tight end.
He doesn't have to do too much either. Like you have two number ones on the outside. You have a running back who can catch really well and Swift. Like they're not gonna ask him to do too much.
They never do. He's good at blocking. I understand the Chargers being up there. I thought it might be inflated. I thought it might be a little weird without Herbert in there, but like, yeah, you got Mike Evans and you got. I think people overvalue Keenan Allen and Mike Evans. They're always hurt, so that's my problem with overvaluing the Chargers. And the Chargers are always that team. I mean, even the Phillip Rivers era, like they had the best offense, and they still barely made the playoffs. Or some years they didn't make the playoffs. So like. The Chargers always have a good offense. It's just that people always get hurt. I mean, we're going to run into this season with their tight end being Parham. Is it Parham? Should be listed as tight end as Parham. It's probably who they're going to run. And then running back.
But I don't see him on the. He's not like listed in the article, so I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be Parham, and then their running back is obviously Eckler. He can pretty much do anything but run between the tackles. So.
Yeah, they were number 6 last year, so I guess they moved up slightly. So the rest of the top 10, we have Vikings at 6. Number 7, we have them boys, Dallas. Number 8, we have Miami Dolphins. At 9, we have the Jags, surprising, and rounding up the top 10. You might be shocked. I think they had the Falcons at 10.
I don't understand how you have the Falcons at 10. I don't understand where the Jets aren't even in the top 10. I think I overshot it because I guess I didn't listen to you enough about Rodgers, but I don't know. I have kind of a problem with the Jets not being in the top 10 because I think everyone's sleeping on Breece Hall. I don't think they're giving him enough respect. Tight end wise, I mean, they did pretty well last year with their tight end they have. Ooh, I can't think of it. I can't think of the tight end's name. No, but they did really good with that tight end.
Who, the Jets?
Yeah, the tight end did great last year.
Uzama? Yeah, he was Cincinnati's tight end.
Yeah, Uzama does great. They had rookie of the year, wide receiver. He's coming back with Rodgers as his quarterback. Their third string wide receiver is Corey Davis. How am I going to get mad about Corey Davis? Okay, I'll wait till the Jets come up. But the Falcons, okay, Kyle Pitts is way overrated. I mean, this is coming from a Panthers fan, so I'm obviously biased because everyone in the NFC South, Saints, Buccaneers, Panther fans will all agree Falcons are the scum of the earth. All Falcons fans and all Falcons players. But either way, they're way overvaluing Bijan Robinson. Way overvalued. You know, a running back does not change your whole entire franchise like that. Kyle Pitts is an average tight end, and I'll say it. He's just average. He gets you down the field. The problem is when you get in the red zone, he's irrelevant. He's irrelevant. Look at his fantasy numbers. I mean, that'll show you. He doesn't score touchdowns. He'll get you yards. He's not getting you touchdowns. What do you need the most? What do you need more than anything? You need touchdowns. What did the Falcons struggle out last year? They scored a lot of field goals. Okay, that's good because they have Younghoe Koo. I mean, he's gonna see Koo's gonna get you some field goals, you know. But like Kyle Pitts does not get in the end zone for you. Like he's just irrelevant when it comes to the end zone because you can just double team him when he's done. He'll make it down the field. And I don't mean to be an ass, but I couldn't even tell you who. I mean, outside of who was that rookie last year?
Drake London.
Drake London. I can't even tell you another wide receiver. I was gonna say, I mean, he's not even the best. He wasn't even the best rookie wide receiver last year in his draft in his division. Chris Olave was better than he was. So like,
I agree.
You're overvaluing Drake London. Who's their second wide receiver, or who's the other wide receiver?
Couldn't tell you.
They don't even list it. Okay, let's Google it then. Falcons roster. All right, this is obviously a joke, right? This list is a joke. Oh, okay. So the Cordell Patterson is obviously going to be part of that hype train, I guess. And Cordell Patterson's getting a little older in age, where he's not that relevant anymore. It's a good thing quarterback's not involved because their starting quarterback is either Desmond Ridder or
Taylor Heineke.
I mean, you had a good running back in Algier, so like I don't even.
They have legit two number one running backs, though.
Okay, that doesn't win you games though. Like, okay, so their best two wide receivers. I might be a casual for this team, but I'm pretty confident their best two wide receivers, Drake London and Scotty Miller.
Scotty can just fly. He's not really a route runner.
No, they're overvaluing. Okay, I guess they got Jonnu Smith, the tight end. I mean, I guess you can say that's cool, but I don't think that's anything. Yeah, so Falcons being up there doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, so let's start back at the top of what I just the 5 teams I just said. So for the Vikings, even though they lost Dalvin Cook, they still have him at 6. I guess Justin Jefferson is like equal to like 2 receivers.
So you got Justin Jefferson,
and they lost Thielen, but they replaced him with Addison out of USC.
Yeah, I think it was a good replacement. Thielen's getting a little older. Thielen kind of needs to be more of a mentor role. There's no one really he needs a mentor on that team anymore. That's kind of why he's in Carolina. Mentor, young quarterback kind of role. Kirk Cousins is, he is who he is at this point. So Thielen on that team doesn't really make sense anymore. Don't be hating on Madison, the backup running back that was on their team last year. The guy they picked up out of UAB. He was a beast in college. So obviously we don't value running backs the same way we have, except for Bijan Robinson apparently. I won't leave that one alone. But their tight end is TJ Hawkinson. So they have a good tight end. They got a good number 1 wide receiver. and they got a good number 2 wide receiver. If everything plans out, I mean, obviously, I think what we're valuing here a lot is wide receiver, which is, I'll turn back. I don't understand how the Falcons are in the top 10, but you can tell they're valuing wide receiver because Chargers are top 5, Seahawks are top 5. Right outside the top 5, you got the Vikings, which they're going to come in with a rookie wide receiver, but the tight end is really good. So they're really valuing the wide receiver position really hard.
So at 7 we have Dallas. They moved up 4 slots because last year they were at 11. So I guess because of Brandon Cooks.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it though. I think they have a good. Like everyone said for the last couple of years, Pollard should be the starting running back. He's finally the starting running back. There's Kyle Schwartz is, or is it Dallas Schwartz? Either way, the tight end Schwartz. He left, so I don't know who they replaced him at tight end, but that's
they drafted 2 guys last year, so maybe
they're gonna have to hope one of them steps up. But I mean, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks. I mean, that's a fine tandem. I mean, they're gonna have Noah Brown still.
Yeah,
they'll be okay. I mean, the Cowboys always. I mean, CeeDee Lamb alone will get you some wins.
Okay, so Dolphins are pretty much a slot down from last year. And
see, that's the one that you say again
at 9.
Doesn't make sense to me. Is the Dolphins being so low? I think that's a little disrespectful. Now see, that's where I come back to the fact that what are we valuing? Because in terms of wide receivers, they have probably the 2 best, probably one of the top 5 tandem. There you go. So if we're just taking 2 wide receivers, they probably have top 5 wide receivers between the 2 of them. Now, tight end wise, a little lack there to be desired. And running back is pretty irrelevant for them. They just want a receiving running back at any point. So
makes sense to me why they're at 8. They moved up 1 slot, not bad.
I'll
Jacksonville moved up. They were 28th last year, so props to them.
Okay, but see, that makes sense because so we'll talk about this. In terms of running back, I pulled up the roster. We got Travis Etienne as the starting running back. I mean, that's great. Dearness Johnson, he played really well in like spot situation for the Browns. So I get that being like one of your backups, but like they also got Tank Bigsby as a rookie out of Auburn. He was pretty. I mean, he beat up on Alabama multiple times, and he has the frame kind of to play fullback if they wanted him to slide him in over there. So that's one of those things that they probably could do if they needed to. In terms of wide receivers, they got Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, Jamal Agnew. So they're kind of running with the same guys that were before, but they added Calvin Ridley. I mean, he's coming off suspension. He's got a lot to prove. And then they're going to run Evan Ingram again. Evan Ingram's never going to be like a top 10 a tight end, but he's average.
He'll be serviceable.
He does what Kyle Pitts doesn't do, which is score touchdowns. So
moving on, let's knock out 11 through 20. So right outside the top 10, we have Raiders at 11. Number 12, we have the Cleveland Browns. Okay. 13, we have Pittsburgh. Okay. 14, Saints. 15, the Ravens. Feels like a little bit low to me, but yeah. 16, the Lions. 17, the Bears. This is wild. 18, Tampa Bay. 19, Kansas City. And at 20, we have the Bills. So
you're telling me the Jets aren't even in the top 20?
Nope.
They literally had the offensive rookie of the year.
Yep.
And they're not even in the top 20.
Nope.
Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense.
Hey, I didn't make this list. Some journalist at ESPN did.
That makes no sense.
It made me pay $10 for this article. So
That makes no sense. Okay, so let's go. Let's tally back. I'll just kind of pick out some of the notables. I hear you said the Raiders were what, 12?
Raiders were 11.
11. I respect the choice. They're going to go into the season without a tight end. Let's check out who their tight end is. Their tight end is
so no more Waller, but I guess they have a good enough backup plan.
Austin Hooper, OJ Howard. Okay.
Serviceable. Yes, I can deal with that.
So they're gonna run it wide receiver. I guess they're gonna put a lot of value in DeAndre Carter because Devontae Adams. I mean, obviously we know Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers has been kind of irrelevant, so I don't know about that one. But they got Philip Dorsett. I mean, okay, so the wide receiver room's not bad. And they got Josh Jacobs. Okay, I agree. This is definitely top 15. 11 might be a little high. I'm still confused where the Jets are, but the 12th pick was, you said Browns?
Yeah.
Browns don't make any sense. Now that one I don't understand. Now,
you don't like Chubby and Amari Cooper?
Okay, I have no problem with Nick Chubb. Amari Cooper's fine. But that's all you got.
You got People Jones.
See, the thing with People Jones is he's only good at running a straight line. I mean, David Njoku, he's serviceable. He's kind of he's kind of just one of the mill. I mean, I guess they have Elijah Moore, who never really got a chance with the Jets, who was always supposed to be super good.
Yeah.
I think it's over. I think they're overhyped. I think they should probably be in the 15 to 17 range.
Yeah, I think so. Probably swap them with the Ravens. I feel like the Ravens should be 12.
Should be a little bit higher. I don't know about that. No, see, when you say the Ravens should be higher, you're putting value into Lamar Jackson.
No, they have Mark Andrews, OBJ, Zay Jones, and
Zay Flowers.
Or Zay Flowers, and they have isn't Bateman coming back? That's good.
They have no running back. OBJ is a number 2 wide receiver, and they're going to try to ask him to be a number 1 wide receiver. I don't see it. I agree with the Ravens are. I don't think there's a problem with the Ravens are. I think the real value at the Ravens offense is Lamar, because he actually makes your running backs useful. Because the only reason your running backs are useful is because people are scared of Lamar. They're scared Lamar is going to take off. That's why the running backs are useful. The wide receiving core, they did him dirty by getting OBJ. That's just my opinion. OBJ has hands. I won't lie. He does. But the problem is he's going to be your number 1 target, right? OBJ's not winning double teams. He's not going to win double teams. If he plays a team like the Steelers, like the Browns, I don't know about the Bengals. I don't know about your safeties yet. But the Browns and the Steelers, they have good safeties. He's going to get double teamed. He's not going to beat double teams, especially when the Steelers and the Browns both have good corner rooms. I don't see them. I don't see it. Zay Flowers is going to take a couple of weeks to develop. He's not just going to come out there and light it up. No wide receivers kind of just straight out of the gate light it up. They might light up a few games at the beginning. And then they start lighting it up. They don't just go week 1, light up, week 2, light up, week 3, light up. They don't do that. It's not how it works.
It's a guy I think called Jamari Chase who kind of did that about 2 years ago, but it's not the hero. It's not the here nor there. But
there was a few games in between where he just was irrelevant.
But people were, and we were those people because we went to that preseason game and we saw him drop many balls and we thought he was going to be a bust. And look what happened. But hey.
But he also benefits from Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins and Uzama at that point. So the only person that Zay Flowers is benefiting from is an older, aging OBJ who's
Andrews.
OBJ's really only played the number 2 spot for the last couple seasons, and Mark Andrews. Now I get the Mark Andrews part, but OBJ part, I just have to kind of say come on, let's be real.
He's
Who
a
was
hater,
13?
y'all.
Who was 13?
13 we have Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is 13.
That also doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
Like Pat Fryermuth, I mean, he's okay. He's like mediocre. Najee Harris is okay. I'm not saying these guys are bad, but like in terms of like all the running backs, like Najee's okay. Pat Fryermuth is okay. The wide receiving group is young and okay. So if we're agreeing that everything is an overall okay, then I think that like a 13 is a little high.
I agree.
Your whole room being okay should be like an 18 to 20.
Any more, I guess, thoughts of the top, or I should say, the top 20, like 11 through 20?
But I don't see how the Chiefs are on there.
Chiefs at 19, yeah.
You're valuing, like, Kelsey's value is like out of this world because you're going in here with your starting running backs.
Pacheco
is your starting running back. Sky Moore is your best wide receiver. That's kind of scratching your head levels. So you're basically saying that Kelsey alone is better than the last, I don't know, what is it, 12 teams in the league? That's questionable. I'm kind of wondering. Okay, so here's my teams that I can't understand aren't in the top. The Rams. You didn't list the Rams, right?
No.
I don't understand because if we're putting value on certain players so hard, I don't understand how the Rams aren't on here with Cooper Kupp. Doesn't make much sense. Another team that doesn't deserve to be there is the Bears. I'm pretty sure they're just overvaluing DJ Moore really hard. I mean, he was a Panther. I get it, but you saw him on the Panthers. The Panthers just they didn't win games just because of him. He was good, but they didn't just win games because of DJ Moore. And for the most part, there isn't anything special about that offense. So I can't understand how the Rams aren't on there. Still can't understand how the Jets aren't on there. Oh, the Giants. I don't understand how the Giants aren't on there. They got Darren Waller. They got Saquon Barkley. Are they not putting the Giants on there because Saquon hasn't signed the deal yet, kind of thing? That I will understand that will be their when the Giants come up, if they put on there because Saquon hasn't signed yet, I'll understand. But the fact that Saquon has to make you top 20 with Darren Waller. I get your wide receiving core is a little sus, but
well, we're about to find out. So 21, we have the Commanders.
Oh,
22. Okay. 22, we have the Jets.
The Commanders should be higher, and the Jets should be higher.
23, we have the Rams. At 24, we have Denver. 25, the Colts. 26, New England. 27, we have the New York Giants. 28, we have the Green Bay. 29 is Tennessee Titans. At 30, we have the Cardinals. 31, the Panthers. And 32 is the Houston Texans. So, any concerns from, or just general comments from that last little batch?
Okay. What does it say for the Giants? Do they actually say that, like, oh, because Saquon's not there? Because if they have Saquon as the running back, in my opinion, I'd put more value in the Giants than what they're doing. I mean, I would probably put more value in the Giants than I do the Chiefs. Just because, like, okay, well, this is not a quarterback room. Kelsey is Kelsey, but like without Patrick Mahomes, is Kelsey? That's kind of a question, you know?
Yeah, I mean, basically, so I guess Giants were ranked 30th last season, so they moved up 3 spots, but basically what they're saying is, more concerningly, the Giants went into the offseason knowing they needed to add playmakers for the newly expensive quarterback, Daniel Jones, and they didn't come away with a single sure thing. Their biggest name is now Darren Waller, who is turning 31 in September. So basically, they're saying they didn't add another receiver or like a sure thing receiver.
Yeah, I get it. They didn't add a sure thing receiver. Let's look at. I mean, Paris Campbell, I think is. Oh, dude, see, I kind of have beef with that because Jamison Crowder is no slouch. He's a good wide receiver. He's nothing to be remarkable about, but he's a great slot wide receiver. Well, I wouldn't say great. He's pretty good slot wide receiver. Darius Slayton is respectable. Sterling Shepard's respectable, and Paris Campbell last year for the Colts on a horrible offense was pretty good. So I don't know. The Giants seem a little low to me. I think that kind of has to deal with the Saquon situation. Another team, I'll put it out there. I don't understand how the Patriots aren't bottom 30. I can't understand that to any degree. Why the
26?
Patriots?
They were 26 last year. They're back at 26.
Oh, okay, so you're gonna run into the season with your starting running back Ramondre Stevenson. He's average. He's not even that good. And your best wide receiver is Devontae Parker, who okay, we're gonna say Juju Smith-Schuster. Juju Smith-Schuster is at best
Either one,
number 2. Yeah. Devontae Parker is at best a number 3. I mean, okay, I guess we're gonna say their tight end room is really good because Mike Gesicki and Hunter Henry, but Hunter Henry gets hurt every other game, so Hunter Henry's irrelevant. Mike Gesicki can make your team a little bit better, but nah, it doesn't make them that much better. That was a little just bit of disrespect. I see that the Cardinals are above Carolina.
Yeah, Cardinals are 30. Carolina's 31. It's one spot.
I'm not going to say anything. I just think Carolina, I would put them at 25 and call it a day. I think they should be around 25 because Thielen makes your team a lot better. You got Laviska Shenault. He does everything they're basically going to use him as a Deebo Samuel, just a wide receiver that plays running back, just pounds you, just beats the crap out of you, which is exactly how he should be used. Everyone's sleeping on Terrence Marshall. I understand that. Okay. Everyone's sleeping on the rest of the unit. I mean, you know how good Hayden Hurst is. That doesn't make sense. They have Miles Sanders.
I wouldn't say he's good. He's serviceable.
No, he's average. He's about 15 to 20 range. But he's a blocking tight end. That's the thing. He's blocking. They have a Super Bowl caliber running back, if we want to value that, and Miles Sanders. So that doesn't make sense. And you're going to put a wide receiver room of the Cardinals. You know, the Cardinals' best tight end is Ertz. He gets hurt every other game.
He's good though.
But he's hurt. We're talking about consistency.
But they have Hollywood. They have James Conner. They have Rondale Moore.
Hollywood Brown just drops every other ball.
Hollywood Brown, Rondale Moore, who I had on my fantasy team. He was lighting it up. I mean, they're your team. You know them better than I do. But I mean, I feel like I flip flopped.
I would have put them up to 25. I would have put them in front of the Patriots too. Don't understand the Jets. Don't understand the Rams. Once you I can't believe I forgot about the Commanders. But once you said the Commanders, that was the one that really hit me. Like, oh, the Commanders they're not a slouch on offense.
No, they got weapons.
And if we're basically doing this, which I'm pretty confident they're not basing this completely without quarterback, because there's just no way. Because if your starting unit is Scary Terry, Curtis Samuel, Jahan Dotson, Logan Thomas, and Brian Robinson Jr. and Antonio Gibson, that's top 20. And they didn't have that top 20.
Well, they were 22nd last year, so they basically moved up a spot. But I think for the Commanders, it's probably because they have Eric Bieniemy now, so they're probably like, he can probably get more out of this guy. So they probably not valuing the quarterback like you said, but I think offensive coordinator, head coach kind of factors into this as well, even though they don't say it.
No, see, that can't because toot my own horn. Carolina has Frank Wright, okay? Like, shit. They're definitely not bringing in head coach.
Yeah, but why would they move up a spot if the Commanders didn't add anybody from last year? They have the same offensive unit.
Yeah, but they're undervaluing certain. So like they moved up because the Rams are behind them now. The Rams were 100% in front of them last year. The Rams definitely went down really hard.
Well, behind them right now is the Jets, and you've been arguing that they should be ahead.
Dude, the Jets are a top 10 team. I'm just sorry. The Jets are a top 10 offensive team. And yeah. I'll sit here and explain to you why, okay? Let's just pull up the roster, and I'll deep dive it too. Jets are a top 10. Even without Aaron Rodgers, they were in games last year. Okay, part of that was the defense. But okay, so my running back room is Michael Carter and Breece Hall. I'm not getting mad at that. Breece Hall, when he played last year as a rookie, was really good. Michael Carter, he filled the void when Breece Hall wasn't there. Okay, so let's talk about the wide receiver room for a second. They got Allen Lazard, McCole Hardman, Corey Davis. I guess we have to say Randall Cobb. Denzel Mims and Garrett Wilson. Dude, what are you talking about here? What are you talking about? Garrett Wilson, McCole Hardman, Allen Lazard, and Corey Davis as a starting four. You can literally just run spread every game or every play. Like you have a good enough wide receiver group, and then you don't have to worry about your wide receiver or your tight end. Or no, you don't have to worry about your quarterback getting killed by a bad tight end because you got C.J. Uzma, and you got Tyler Conklin. Tyler Conklin played amazing last year. That's what I actually was thinking. It was Tyler Conklin. Uzma was played more in the pass protection and run development kind of role, but there nothing about that offense says bottom 20 or says last 12. That is a top 10 offense. If we don't want to say top 10, I would say at worst they're 14th. But you can't tell me that offensive group, especially without quarterback, like you can't tell me that offensive group isn't better than the Steelers. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, there's a couple of questionable decisions in this top 32 list, but I think we did a pretty good job of breaking it down. I don't 100% agree with the list, but I feel like they did a decent job. What do you think?
And where are the Bills?
Bills are 20.
Yeah, see, that's about right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if we're also going to talk about, off-season problems and what could be problematic for the Giants, we have to bring up the same thing for the Bills. I mean, Stephon Diggs is mad, and he has every right to be mad. So.
Yeah. So I guess it's just basically projecting, like, whoever's on the depth chart is going to be there day one, so they're not taking into account, whatever drama or beefs or...
Yeah, I'm still confused about the Colts, too, being so high. That means they really value the running back there.
Jonathan Taylor.
And he was trash last year, so...
He had a bad year, come on.
Okay.
It happens to all of us. All right, folks, that is our breakdown of the NFL's top offensive teams without their quarterbacks and offensive lines. Coming up next, we will dive into our NBA free agency. We will break down all of the news thus far and news that is yet to be broken. So please stay tuned for that. And we are going to kick off our NBA free agency segment. Now, free agency does start tomorrow. We are recording on Thursday, so by the time you guys see this episode, free agency would have started.
Harrison Barnes is no longer a free agent.
So let's go over the signings that already happened. So some of the teams that have brought back their players already. So Lawrence just said Harrison Barnes is going back to Sacramento. I think it was 3 years, $54 million. They basically had $30 million in cap, and it was rumored that they might go over Draymond. They might go for Draymond, or they might go for Kyle Kuzma or Chris Middleton. So, what are your early thoughts on the signing?
See, I like the re-signing. I like Harrison Barnes. He's an Iron Man. I like consistency. He's very consistent. My only beef with it is you gave him a lot of money. And I don't know if anyone else was going to give him that much money. That's the thing. Like $18 million, basically $18 million a year is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
especially when you probably could have done it for like 12 to 14. I mean, 12 to 14 makes a lot more sense. And it gives you an extra 6 to 4 million to play with in terms of cap space. But I mean, if it was me, I would have re-signed Harrison Barnes at 13.5 to 14 million. Give me an extra 4 million in cap space to play with. Then I could have used that 4 million with my extra cap space to cover Trey Lyles, which they were already trying to do. And then I can kind of go out there for another role player from my bench, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And now, what was it? It was like 7.7 million or something that they have left now for free agent.
I think they have like 18. They have 18 million left in room.
But they still got to get Trey Lyles and a couple other guys back on the roster. So at the end of it, they're going to have roughly, we're going to say $8 million to get like some free agents. 8 million is like cutting it close in terms of getting a
decent player,
a decent role player for your bench, or I wouldn't even say starting unit because I think their starting unit's fine, but a decent role player for their bench.
Yeah, I mean, I get the signing. I would have personally gone after Kyle Kuzma or Chris Middleton. And all the rumors were kind of pointing towards Kyle Kuzma trying to push his way there, but I guess they didn't want to pay Kyle Kuzma $30 million or 30 plus. Which, I mean, let's be honest. I feel like Kyle Kuzma being the second option on that team, I think $30 million would have been warranted.
Yeah, but is he the second option? Because he would probably be. I kind of would have seen him. I don't know. He would have been arguably the second. He would probably been the second or third option on any given night. Because Sabonis would go back and forth between the first and second, or second and third option.
Second and third, and he likes to facilitate more. So him and Sabonis on pick and rolls would have been deadly. And like Sabonis isn't like a 30-point per night scorer. Like he can do it every once in a while, but like Kuzma and Fox, I feel like they could both average like 25. I would like to see that.
I mean, I would have liked them see them try to attack like a good center.
They should have got Brook Lopez. They should have just waited and see if they could have got Brook Lopez. He would have been really good for them.
Yeah, I would love to see them just attack a good center, so that way they can move Sabonis over to the 4 spot.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see here. Some other moves. The Clippers let go of Eric Gordon, so he's now a free agent. We're going to talk about this in rapid fire, but James Harden opted in. So now he's looking to get traded out of Philly. And we'll talk about that later. Lakers waived Mo Bamba, declined Malik Beasley's team option. How do we feel about that? The Lakers are trying to make space to sign someone.
Or they're trying to make space to make sure they don't get rid of someone.
Also true.
Essentially, you're going to talk about that thing. While we were just talking about together, I kind of think PJ Washington is like a great signing for the Lakers. Given if you do get PJ Washington, you probably, I don't know how it would work, but you may or may not have to have Rui Hachimura walk. And they could keep him. That would be great, but you may or may not have to let Rui walk because I don't know how you're going to get everyone all their money. But I feel like PJ Washington would be great for that team just because he can stretch it out. He plays defense, which you kind of want. What you brought up to me is he kind of lacks the rebounding ability. He's an okay rebounder, but he's something special. But Anthony Davis can rebound. We're also forgetting that when he wants to, LeBron can get rebounds all night if he wants to. So in crucial big games, when it comes to playoff time, well, we don't know how PJ Washington works in playoff time because he's never been there, but LeBron gets rebounds in playoff games. So his weakness that we think his weakness is kind of falls at the wayside in terms of playoff games. So you can ask PJ Washington to stretch it, shoot the 3. You can ask PJ Washington to fight inside the paint and get blocks with Anthony Davis. So you kind of line yourself up against some tower teams. I'm not going to say PJ Washington's going to go out there and make some magic, but the thing about PJ Washington is he can pretty much be a really good pest to Jokic. Anthony Davis plays defense on Jokic, but Washington can pester him in the paint with him as well. So for the Lakers, we got to be figuring out who's our biggest competition over here. We got the Suns, we got the Nuggets, who are defending champions. I mean, Washington kind of helps us in both departments. You can have him cover Kevin Durant for a lot of the game. I wouldn't say all of the game, but you can have him cover Kevin. Is he going to be amazing? No. Can you limit him a little bit? That's all we're asking. You're never going to shut down Kevin Durant, but you can limit Kevin Durant. All right, we can work with that. But like he can be a pest to like a Jokic. He can be a pest to some of the other big men in the West. So I'm not going to say out here and goes, oh yeah, PJ Washington, you can defend him. No, we're not going to say he can defend him. We're going to say he can pest him. All he has to do is just be annoying. Rui Hachimura was annoying to Jokic. So all you got to do is pester him.
I agree. And the last pretty much big re-signing thus far, a guy whose name we brought up a couple times on the podcast, Nikola Vucevic, re-signed with the Bulls on a good deal, team-friendly deal, 3 years, $60 million, so $20 million per year. How do we feel about that signing?
So that signing makes me, I don't know if you felt this way, but that signing kind of makes me think that Zach LaVine's probably on the move.
You think so?
It's just not working, in my opinion. And you're not going to get anything for Lonzo. Lonzo's not going to get you any money.
No.
Maybe Caruso leaves, but I can't really see that either. You're not paying him a whole lot, and he kind of gives you a whole lot. I just think that
No, are you saying these players are going to ask to get traded, or they're leaving after the following year?
I don't even think they ask to get traded. Because Zach LaVine's been they've had him in trades for like 3 seasons now. Just fake playing with them, testing the waters with them. And I kind of think it comes down to, do you just want to ride it out until DeMar DeRozan retires kind of thing? Or do you actually want to, sink all in on Zach LaVine finally? Well, they've gone this long and they haven't sunk in on Zach LaVine. If you keep DeRozan, he'll give you another 2 to 3 years before he kind of falls off completely.
Yeah.
So at that point, you've either won something and built around it, like you built something there, or it gives you a great time to recuperate and refigure out where you are. But I think to be good to Zach LaVine, you kind of just have to move him. That way, you get rid of his debt. You get rid of his money contract. Like, the thing is huge.
It's massive contract.
DeMar DeRozan is doing just fine with you. Just certain things, just little things like that. Something just tells me Zach LaVine's going to be on the move,
Yeah. I mean, the rumors are there, so I definitely see why you're thinking that. And I could see it if they don't make the signings they want. I definitely could see them probably sometime next week if they don't sign the guys that they want. They might move in a different direction. All right, so kicking off before we get to our top 3 free agents that we want to see and what kind of impact they would have on a certain team we want them to go to. Let's just go over the CBA real quick so our listeners know, because this offseason is the start of the new CBA. So basically there's different rules in place. So teams, for the most part, can't be as aggressive as they were in the past couple seasons with the last CBA.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the rules, this is a new one. The new CBA requires each team to spend at least 90% of their salary cap. So they have to get to $122 million by the first day of the regular season. So that basically means teams can't just have 30, 40, $50 million in cap space heading into the season. If you want the league to share the money with you, they want you to spend money. So basically, all these small market teams have to start paying players, basically. So basically, I'll let you go second, but like basically, what I see is the ramifications of this is basically you're gonna start seeing a lot of players get overpaid for like 1 year because
Yeah.
teams aren't gonna commit. First of all, you're kind of restricting super teams even more, but secondly, you're making these small market teams start to spend their money. So they're not going to spend money long term because they're trying to be bad. So they're just going to rent out players for a year. So you're going to see like Mo Bamba get like maybe 1 year, $15 million or someone like that. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I totally agree. I think it's dumb.
Yeah, it is dumb.
I don't understand punishing a team in order like, oh, you got to spend all your money. Like that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I kind of refer to like European soccer, I guess. You know, they don't punish teams who don't spend as much as Manchester City. Like a team like Crystal Palace will spend like we'll just say like $30 million. We'll talk about baseball as well. I'll bring it all the way back to American sports. So in baseball, the New York Mets are spending $364 million. They didn't win a single series in the month of June. The Miami Marlins are paying $64 million a year. They're 13 games over 500. Like
Yeah,
you don't always have to spend money to win.
to be good.
But the problem is, okay, so we have a salary cap, but now I'm going to force you guys all to meet said salary cap. But we're going to punish you if you go over, and we're going to punish you if you go to under. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, in my opinion, it makes zero sense. I don't know if it was like some part of the players' union, trying to push for it, so that way they make sure like a player like Mo Bamba, who's been kind of average his whole, not even average, been below average his whole career, but I need a guy who I can sign who might play a few games for me. He's going to end up getting a fat contract for no reason, but it's just because this season I need him to play for a single season and I need to pay money to someone. I just think it's dumb. I agree with you. I just think it's absolutely absurd. Doesn't make any sense. You don't see any other sports league even attempting this. You don't see it in the NHL. You don't see it in the European soccer. You don't see it in the NFL. Dude, the NFL doesn't care if you go at your $94 million under the salary cap next year. If anything, the NFL wants you to be $94 million under the salary cap so you can be the spicy team in free agency. In my opinion, this just kind of makes everything complicated. Something it also kind of makes, I think, is going to change a lot is you're going to see people, like even the good players, they're not going to sign long-term contracts. They're just not. Especially like when they can, I don't know if this is the thing, but like they could probably change like the supermax to that point. Like Kevin Durant could, finish out his little segment with the Suns, and then he can get paid some absurd 1-year contract for like, I don't even know, the Charlotte Hornets. I know it's not going to happen, but like they could literally, the Hornets could just pay him an absurd 1-year contract. The Hornets don't give a shit. They have to spend a certain amount of money, but Kevin Durant will sell tickets. He'll sell jerseys.
Oh yeah.
So like you're going to see a lot of old guys going to crappy teams at the very end, thinking to themselves, "Well, I don't have to be good. I'm just going to sell tickets and I'm going to sell jerseys." And the teams don't care because they're trying to tank for the next year's draft, and the good player just makes some money for the 1 year. So I think it's absurd. I think it has to be something with the Players Association because they're just trying to get people more money,
Yeah. I mean, we'll have a segment on it at a later date once I get a chance to fully read it. It just got ratified officially, I think either yesterday or 2 days ago. So once I get a chance to fully dissect it, we'll have a nice segment or two about it. But basically, the other rules, these are for teams that hit that second level of the cap. Basically, these are the more restrictive penalties that are going to take place starting July 1st. So if you hit that second apron, you'll be unable to use your taxpayer mid-level, which is, I think right now, like $7 million. You won't be able to use, you won't be able to aggregate salaries more than 110%. So basically, you can't put two contracts together. Like for right now, you can put salaries together and be within 125%. But if starting next week, it'll be restricted to 110%. And then if you're on the second apron, you can't sign players who have been bought out. So that's actually really restrictive. And then starting,
so there goes buying out players, yeah.
Yeah, and then starting after next year, you can't aggregate salary, so you can't put multiple salaries together to trade for a player. You can't send cash to another team. You can't sign a player who was. You can't acquire a player contract in respect to a player who was signed and traded, so that's stupid. Can't sign a buyout player again.
Then how are deals gonna get done?
And don't be the second level. Can't use the taxpayer mid level. Ew. This is horrible. And then starting at 24-25, your pick is frozen if you exceed it. And then if you exceed it for more than 2 years in a row, or 2 out of 4 years, then your pick gets moved to the last pick of the first round. So you could be total trash 1 year, and then the next year, if you're good, it doesn't matter because your pick is going to still be at the end.
Yeah.
That's dumb. Or did I explain that right? No, you could be good 1 year, or you could be bad, but instead of your pick being like a top 3 or top 5, it's still going to be at the end. That's how I should have said it.
Yeah, I understood when you were saying it. It's still a little dumb, man.
All right, so with that in mind, I'll start with you. What is your number one free agent, and where should they go? Who could benefit the most from this person?
I was gonna say. Well, I already said one. I said PJ Washington to the Lakers. I said my piece on that. Something I kind of thought. I thought the Kings probably should have done. Okay, maybe not Kuzma, maybe not Chris Middleton, but Jakob Poeltl. I mean, he just solidifies center. So then you're not asking. I mean, you're gonna ask Sabonis to get some rebounds, but like, don't worry. He'll grab him, but don't worry, Sabonis. Just toss him over there to Jakob Poeltl. He can dunk it. Fox, you can toss it up to him. He can dunk it. He'll play in the paint a little bit, and he can pass it back out to you. He's no assist god, but he gets some. I think on this team he could get a lot more. But he rim protects and he gets the rebounds, and I think that's kind of what the Kings needed. And if we're gonna start fixating on the Kings fixing their team, is maybe you should just get some defense. Like, okay, Jakob Poeltl will give you defense. Your offense wasn't your problem last year, so putting Jakob Poeltl on your team would have been amazing because he fixes a part of the defense that you don't know how to stop, kind of thing. I mean, they couldn't even stop Looney in the playoffs. Kind of bad of defense. So, I thought Jakob Poeltl been really good on the Kings. I mean, in my opinion, Jakob Poeltl is one of those guys that can be good on a lot of teams.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll also go. I mean, I would just say Jeremy Grant will be good on any team. I think a team that would benefit from, another team that could benefit from Jakob Poeltl is like the Miami Heat. I'm just looking at your shirt, but the Heat can benefit from Jakob Poeltl because you can finally stop asking Bam to play center.
Yep.
He can play power forward. And you don't have to worry about anything because Jacopo is going to get his rebounds. He's going to protect your rim. He's going to do anything that you ask him to. And he'll get you 10 points a night. And if Jacopo on the Miami Heat is going to be 10 points a night, am I bitching? No.
No.
I'm not bitching if Jacopo gets me 10 points a night. Because, at that point I'm going to be like, all right, Bam, you have no defensive. You have to play defense, but you have no big defensive liabilities now. Like you don't have to play hardcore, undersized center defense. I want you to score more points now, and Bam will score you more points. So then he'll make up for the 10 points that Jacopo's scoring. Yeah, I just think Jacopo is so good at being plugged in and put in different places. Let's see. And scrolling through this list, I think someone who probably is a little underappreciated, who could probably and you can plug in pretty much anywhere as well, it would be Cam Johnson.
Ooh.
I just think he, during that stretch when everyone was hurt on the Suns, I think it was 2 years ago, when they basically were running out with a lineup of, the lineup was I know it was Ayton, Cam Johnson, Cameron Payne, McCall Bridges, and
him.
Jay Crowder. Oh, he was part of it, but it was also Jay Crowder. Cam Johnson went off, and on the Brooklyn Nets, he did pretty efficiently. He did pretty good. I think a team that benefits from him is probably the Mavericks. I think he'd work really well in the Mavericks.
I don't think they have the money for that. Plus,
they don't have the
Brooklyn's
have the money.
He's restricted, so you got to remember Brooklyn's going to probably match whatever comes his way.
That's kind of one of the reasons why I didn't put Austin Reeves on here. The Lakers are already, dead set on not letting anyone have him. But you see, the thing about the Nets is, he was just part of a trade package. Was he like the main, piece? He's kind of one of those hard rookies. The rookie contract is going to end. He's kind of one of those hard rookies to gauge because he's never really been given that role. Like, I need you to be that guy, or I need you to be one of the guys. He's kind of been one of the bench guys that shows up. He does really good.
He started some games. He started some games for the Suns.
But he shoots 40% from three. That's the big kicker right there. He shoots 40% from three.
Yeah, that's all I need. Shoot.
So he plays defense and shoots 40% from three. And someone can steal him away from the Nets. I get it. I think personally he would be really good for the Mavericks. Probably don't have the money for it.
Okay, so I guess
I'm just trying to avoid, the basic one like Brook Lopez or Fred VanVleet. I'm trying to think outside the box here, because I think you can plug Fred VanVleet on any team. He'll be good for you.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I guess my number one guy was Fred VanVleet. I feel like there's a lot of teams.
I got no hate for that. I got no hate for that.
There's a lot of teams that need point guards, and I feel like no disrespect to Kyrie, but I feel like Fred is at this stage and point just a better point guard, just because he can do everything Kyrie can, but he also makes a little bit better, plays a little bit better defense, and he's no diva and he's coachable. So I feel like he's the perfect point guard for any team that has the money to go out and get him, whether that's just openly signing him, or if a team like the Lakers can figure out a sign and trade. I feel like the Lakers could really use Fred VanVleet. If Philly, if he can go with his ex-coach Nick Nurse and head to Philly, Harden just opted in and wants to get traded. So if they can work something out with the Raptors, why not? Makes a lot of sense there. Clippers, if the Clippers can make a move on him, makes sense. I feel like Fred's probably my number one guy. My number two guy, since you did two people, I'm going with Bruce Brown. I feel like Bruce Brown really proved himself. I feel like a lot of teams could use a Bruce Brown, and he's been linked to the Lakers, and I know a lot of players have been linked to Lakers, but I feel like the Lakers and Mavericks are the two. Those are the two teams I would watch out for. I feel like on either team, he would excel, make them a lot better. For the Lakers, I feel like he puts them over the top. I feel like at that point, it's just the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets because Bruce Brown is that good, and I feel like he would really. Because just think about it: if he goes to the Lakers, you have what LeBron, AD, Rui, Reeves, and Bruce Brown. That's your starting lineup. Oh Lord, it's over. And then if he goes to the Mavericks, he's 3-and-D, can play make, and he can start too. Like if he goes to the Mavericks, the Mavericks are in the top 3. They're the top 3 team in the East. If they re-sign Kyrie and bring back Bruce, and they bring Bruce Brown, they're top 3 team.
He kind of fills that void of Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yep. And he shoots better.
Greatly missed.
And he can play make better. So he's just a better player than Finney-Smith. Like the Mavericks would be a top 3 team. They drafted for defense. Then they picked up a guy who can 3-and-D and play make. It's over. Like they're a top 3 team in the West. So that's my number 2 guy. Who's your third guy? Who's your third guy your third impact free agent?
Well, I went Cam Johnson, PJ Washington, and Jakob.
Yeah.
So those are my 3. If I had to throw another one out there, just to be different, just to be cute. I kind of just want to put it out there, like Dennis Schroeder.
Okay.
You know, you don't have to pay him a lot. You don't have to pay him a lot, right? But I'm trying to think, like Dennis Schroeder going back home to OKC, kind of teach some young guns, like a different element. You know, he's already part of the OKC culture, kind of thing. I think Dennis Schroeder would work out really well in OKC.
I agree.
On the current roster they have, especially since, like, no offense to the OKC roster or anything, but in my opinion, they have no, like, outstanding point guard. Like, no outstanding, oh, yeah, you're running the point. He can either be starter or bench point. Still won't have a problem with them. You know, he's gonna be ferocious on defense. So you kind of give you kind of give Shea Gilchrist another guy to help him out defensively.
Yeah.
And not that Shea needs help defensively, but, save your energy for the offensive side. And Dennis will get him some assists, or Dennis will get him the ball enough in good spots. You got Lou Dort, so you got another defender that can play 3-and-D. You got another 3-and-D. You got Giddey, who just, they have Giddey listed as point guard. Giddey can play. He can play power forward. He can interchange in different roles. I just think, it's not a sexy pick, but I just think Dennis Schroeder.
I like it.
I just think that it would be smart of OKC to just throw in some veterans that aren't expensive, but they're not at the tail end of their career where they're washed up and they're has-beens, or they're on their last leg. Like, Dennis Schroeder's got a couple more years left in him. He can give you 1 or 2 more years, and you're not breaking the bank for him. He's not going to be the guy who comes in here and ruins your entire roster either. He's just going to come in and do his job. He might be an idiot to pass up money, but
yeah, that's a good choice right there. I think my third guy, I'm going to have to go with I just had him on my screen. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo. He
I
opted
saw.
out of Golden State.
I thought
Now
about it.
he's already kind of linked to going to reunite with his Villanova boys and with the Knicks. Him and Brunson and Josh. I think Hart was Villanova guard as well.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a lot of sense there. He can start. He can come off the bench. Either way, he's going to be very productive. Plays defense, can shoot, rebounds pretty well, play makes decently. Last year, he shot basically 40% from three, 39.7%. From the field, he shot 43.5. I mean, Golden State just basically use him as a spot-up shooter, so that's why his field goal percentage is that low. He'll definitely will look a little bit better in New York, where they don't really shoot the three as much. I feel like it's a perfect fit for New York. Another team, the Lakers could use him if he can get the full mid level there, the full 12 million. I think it's 12.2 or $12.4 million. If he can get that from the Lakers like miss out on Bruce Brown. The Lakers should pivot to DiVincenzo. He's exactly what they need. He's going to get a little bag. It's not probably going to be as much as he wants. It's not going to be as much as a Kyle Kuzma. It's not going to be as much as a Fred VanVleet, but DiVincenzo's a good role player. So those are my two teams for that. And I think my one honorable mention, I think if a team needs like strictly scoring, Kelly Oubre is a good option. Now, Kelly Oubre doesn't really play defense, all right? Doesn't really play make all that well, all right? But if you're a team, you miss out on Kyle Kuzma, you miss out on Chris Middleton, give a shot at Kelly Oubre, give him another bag. Now, is he worth $20 million? No. That's debatable. But he's played well for the Hornets. They had a lot of guys get injured last couple seasons. He stepped in, played really well. He's a team guy, but he's just not that efficient, not the best playmaker. Rebounds okay. Doesn't shoot that good from three. But, I mean, I've always liked Kelly Oubre. He's always been a good player to me. So I feel like if you're a team that can afford a little bit more than the mid-level, so if you're a team that can afford about $15 or $16 million, and you missed out on Kyle Kuzma or somebody like that, you need some scoring, just give him a shot.
I'll add to your Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre fits on the Knicks. They play a good defense. Sometimes they lack scoring. You're going through a scoring drought, they'll let Kelly.
Yep.
Another team, as soon as you brought up Kelly Oubre, my mind immediately went to Cavaliers.
Yep.
You're probably losing Karis LeVert, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing.
But at least you have an actual small forward at that point, though.
But Donovan Mitchell can play defense. Garland, not so much, but you got Twin Towers down there. So half the time in guard play, all it matters is getting a hand in the face. Garland can do that. If you're constantly winning, which the Cavaliers probably will be constantly winning, Kelly Oubre will put a hand in the face. So
yeah, it'd be a great pickup for them. So yeah, I think the Cavs could use them. That's a good team. Second honorable mention I want to give out is Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez, he's going to be a key piece with somebody. Now, the thing about him is, does he go for the bag or does he go to a contender? Because the Bucks are a contender, but I don't think they're going to give him the bag. So which is he going to choose? Is he going to go to the Rockets and make $30 million? Is he going to go back to the Bucks with a pay cut? Or will he go to like the Kings and make slightly more money? Like the Kings can probably give him $18 or $20 million. So we'll see. What is your thoughts on Brook Lopez?
My thoughts on Brook Lopez with the Kings is I don't hate it. I think Jakob Poeltl's a little bit better for the Kings, just for how they're built. Yeah. I don't know but at this age, like Jakob Poeltl's on that verge of like, what, you're going to give him like 12 to 14 million?
Yeah.
Or are you going to give Jacopoto more? I don't see Jacopoto getting more than 12 to 14 million. Which if I'm the Kings, I would cough up that 12 to 14 million. And if I'm Brook, I think the best place for Brook is like the Suns. But you're gonna have to get rid of Ayton, man. You gotta get rid of Ayton.
Suns definitely don't got money. It's going to have to
No,
be a trade.
you have to get rid of Ayton. You gotta get rid of Ayton. I don't know how you're gonna do it. But you gotta get rid of Ayton. So you can free up some money. And then if you're Brooke Lopez, dude, I've made money in my career. I want another ring. I can go to the Suns and I can get a ring. I mean, they got all the pieces. I'll be on the starting unit. Don't take a lot of money so that way they can fill out a role playing or sub role playing bench. There's gonna be some other good role player that's gonna roll up through there for a veteran minimum. Just to fill out the roster spots. Probably like a Will Barton or something. Just super cheap. Can get the job done on some nights. Probably not most nights. But we're gonna hope that most nights my starting unit does most of the work. Brooke Lopez. I mean, it's not a contender, but a team that Brooke Lopez works kind of good for is like the Atlanta Hawks. If you can find a way to, I wouldn't say, I would say just move Clint Capella. I don't have a problem with Clint Capella.
They gonna move him?
But you gotta move Clint Capella. Then you gotta figure out how you're gonna revamp the 3 and 4 spot.
Man.
But if the Hawks could somehow just early free agency, just bring in a bunch of guys, still have a little bit of money left, I think the Hawks could go from pretender to contender, and then kind of swindle Brooke Lopez their way, which would be good for the city. But I don't see how Brooke Lopez could say no to Atlanta because he's gonna get all the balls from Trae Young at some point.
Exactly, it's a good fit. That's a good team. As he just brought up, but yeah, they gotta get rid of Capella. Probably get rid of a few people. So we'll see how that goes with the Atlanta Hawks. But ladies and gents, I think that's the rest of. Well, that's our top 3 free agents. Do you have any more honorable mentions that you want to add it, or?
I mean, I'm just looking through it a little bit more. There's just certain players that I mean, again, I think Kobe White would be really. I'm gonna say a lot of what I'm thinking about. I would say Kobe White would be really good for OKC as well.
Yes.
Play point guard for OKC.
Shoot threes, facilitate.
I don't know if they would pick him or what is it, Ayu Dosunmu or what is it? Is that what I say it right?
Ayo Dosunmu?
Oh yeah, Ayu Dosunmu. I think I may take him a little bit more just because he plays that position. But I've been kind of looking around for it. In my opinion, OKC's just got to get a. They were so good with Chris Paul, right? They were just so good. Not that they weren't like an exceptional team or anything. They had a leader. They had a veteran leader. I think OKC just needs like a veteran leader to walk into that room and just kind of whip them into shape. I would say oh yeah, I'm OKC, go get Kyle Kuzma. But Kyle Kuzma's not going to walk in there and be that veteran leader. So I don't think it works. D'Angelo Russell's not going to walk into OKC and be that veteran leader. They need a guy who's been there, done that, got in the dirt, beat another man up, got it out of the dirt, come back through. I'm not going to. I think Dennis Schroeder is better than Russell Westbrook. We're going to say the old OKC guards going back to OKC. I think Dennis Schroeder is better than Russell Westbrook because Russell Westbrook is going to make SGA. I don't want to say regress, but he's probably going to hinder him a little bit. He's just
Oh
going to
yeah.
take away too much from him. Eh. A team we're not talking about at all who, is going to need to spend some money. It's like the Magic. Like
They got
who can
spend.
who can the Magic entice to come there? I mean, Boncaro is not a slouch, so just think about it. I mean, look at all this free agents list. Like, I know he's probably going to go play in Taiwan, but Dylan Brooks is not bad for the Magic.
Yeah, he's Dylan Brooks, and it's good that you brought it up because Dylan Brooks. I mean, we joke about Taiwan and China, but he's actually going to get paid. Like Dylan Brooks is probably going to get at least $12 million. Like, I mean, that's probably his floor. It's $12 million. It's not. If you're getting paid $12 million in the NBA, you're a decent player. So we shall see. Thank you guys. This have been our free agency, little free agency segment before it starts. It kicks off tomorrow. I think players can unofficially sign tomorrow at 6 p.m. So Friday at 6 p.m. you will see a lot of Woj bombs, a lot of Shams tweets. They had this other guy who made an account today. He was dropping stuff way before Woj and Shams, but his account already got deleted. So if you guys have seen him on Twitter, you know what I'm talking about. But we had a third guy in the running for a little bit, but it was short-lived. But anyway, coming up next, we have Rapid Fire, and we will close with James Harden. What will he do now?
And
So we're going to kick off Rapid Fire. Talking about James Harden. He's the only topic for today, so let's just kick it off. So today was the deadline for James Harden to either opt in or opt out of his final year of his deal. And the news broke around literally right before 5. It broke from Woj, Shams, all those good people, that he will be opting in, and Philadelphia will try to facilitate a trade. Now, teams already linked to the trade include Clippers, Miami, and the New York Knicks. So, Lawrence, I'll start with you first. What are your thoughts on James Harden first opting in, and where do you see him going? Do you see him going to any of the 3 teams I just mentioned, or is there a sleeper team out there?
I think he works out probably for what they can give him. I would probably say like the Knicks. Like
Okay.
they can give the 76ers a lot of depth. You're probably moving off RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
How mad are you moving off RJ Barrett? I don't know. I probably wouldn't be that bad, but you're probably moving off RJ Barrett. Maybe Josh Hart. I think that's something they'd probably try to keep.
Yeah.
Maybe
But
quickly.
Man.
But I don't know if you want an aging Harden, that kind of thing.
He's going to turn 34. He's going to be 34 next year.
So, there's a lot to consider. If I'm the Clippers, I really don't see it working.
No.
So, of the teams he's linked to, I don't know what Harden thinks he's gonna get from it, but he may or may not be playing another season in Philly.
Oh, he's not.
So
he's
I know he
to get
doesn't want to play. He's asking to get traded, but I don't know anyone that's gonna want to pick him up for what they're gonna have to give up for the 76ers end of the deal. 76ers are gonna want value because they're paying $35 million.
Yeah.
And they're not just gonna get a bunch of first round picks. I don't see that. They're gonna want actual players because they think they have a team. And to be fair, they probably do have a team. They have a need still. So it's just what they can get for it. I don't know. But the Harden situation to me, the Hardens, the Rockets even gave up Eric Gordon. So do the Rockets even want to like win? I can't see the Rockets trying to pick him up either, even
Yeah,
though
they have
they've
a
been
bunch
linked to
of
him in the
young.
past. So, like,
They have
if
a
I'm a
bunch
bunch of
of.
young guys, do I want this guy who likes to go hang out and get drunk and crazy in Vegas? You know, and certain teams that are kind of built around like an ideal, like an idea, or like you're not going to send Harden to any of the young teams. Like OKC's not going to want him. The Magic aren't going to want him. The Pistons aren't going to want him. So then you're going to think about, okay, contenders. Well, the problem with him going to contenders is, are any of the contenders going to want to have to deal with that off the field stuff he has.
Yeah, then you have to extend him. So if you trade for him, you have to try to get him to stay because you have to extend him. He only has 1 year.
Mm-hmm. See, that's the problem that, as I keep talking over with you, like, where do you move him? Where do you put him? It's just,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't make a lot of sense, I get it. He wanted to resign to get trade, but I think he should just test it. I don't think he should have opted in.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it seems like he's really close with Daryl Morey, the GM, the president. So to me, it seemed like, okay, I'll do you a solid. I'll opt in, so that way you don't lose me for nothing, but you get to trade me where I want to go. So basically, if Shams are reporting that he wants to go to the Miami, Knicks, or Clippers, those are basically the 3 teams in the running. Like Harden's not gonna want to go to a team that he doesn't want to go to if he didn't opt in. Like if he opted out, he's just gonna go wherever he wants to go.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, because of his relationship with the GM, he's gonna opt in, try to help the Sixers out, try to help his former GM out, but you have to send me to where I want to go. So I feel like those 3 teams make the most sense. I mean, I don't have a sleeper team. The Suns are somehow
Well,
linked into this, so I don't really see.
the Heat are going to give up Hero, Duncan Robinson, or the Heat are going to give up Kyle Lowry, Hero, and picks. Because if you're
Oh,
getting
no
Harden,
picks.
if you're
No
getting rid of
picks.
Harden, all right, sorry, if you're getting Harden, it's just natural. You're going to give up Hero.
Yeah,
They're not going to make a trade without Hero.
yeah. So one trade that I did see that apparently works on Trade Machine. Um, Let me find it. I think in terms of where I rank the teams, I feel like the most likely is probably the Clippers. I feel like the Clippers have the best assets, like the most like win now players that the Sixers might want. You have Norman Powell, you have Covington. You could probably sign and trade Mason Plumlee. Like they have Terrence Mann. They have a bunch of players they could send Philly's way that Philly might want. So
Mm-hmm.
any combination of those guys could get you James Harden, maybe Tobias Harris if they want to make the deal even bigger. But I feel like Miami has a decent chance too, as well. I feel like the Dame saga, it's just going on too. It's for me, and he just tweeted out today like, I'm not gonna let a, I've been through a lot of storms. I'm not gonna let a couple of raindrops get to me or something like that. Basically, he's just trying to say like,
He's
I'm
not
just gonna.
leaving.
He's not leaving. He's gonna stick it out. Okay, if you're gonna stick it out, bro. Okay, let's pivot. All right, so that's cool. If you want to keep being a loser and tarnishing your legacy, okay, just keep stay in Portland. Even though you keep putting out stuff that you want to leave so bad, and hypothetically you want to go to A, B, and C, just stay there. I'm done with that. All right, so this is where's the trade I saw. All right. So for Miami's perspective, so this is a trade. Kyle Lowry, Hero, Robinson for Harris and Harden. No picks involved. The money works out. And I feel like for the Heat, speaking as trying to be objective here, I feel like for the Heat, you accomplish 2 things, right? You get better. I feel like James Harden is an upgrade over the 3 guys you sent. Tobias Harris is an upgrade over the three guys you sent.
Mm-hmm.
But also, hey, if it doesn't work out, hey, it's cool. We have 2 expiring deals. If the team looks worse somehow, hey, flip them at the trade deadline. You can they have value. Just flip them for picks or flip them for other people. Or hey, it works out, but you get stuck in the second round. Okay, that's fine. Don't keep them. Let them expire. At least Miami got Duncan Robinson's money off the books and Hero's money. Let's be honest, those are two bad contracts. The Heat don't need those contracts going forward. So I feel like for the Miami, I feel like that's a trade that you should explore because the money's off the books. At the same time, your team theoretically should still be better. Should improve. So I like that trade. How do you feel about it? The hypothetical trade.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I like it. It's just that, like, okay, Lowry, Robinson, Hero for Harris and Harden. See, the Harris is what gets me. Is like, would they really give up Harris? Probably
They've been
would give
trying
up
to move
Harris.
him. Yeah, they've been trying to move him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I like it. Um, I I would
It's like
probably
you,
say what Tobias Harris plays power forward.
yeah.
No, he likes to play small forward, right? But that's Jimmy's spot. I mean, maybe in a different world, like he comes off the bench, he becomes your sixth man. I don't know. I doubt it for the money he gets paid. But regardless, it, it makes sense because Duncan Robinson, you don't want to keep him around. You don't want to keep the contract. Lowry, you don't want to keep the contract. My only thoughts on that is, all right, so 76ers get back Hero, Robinson, and Lowry.
Yeah.
Are they immediately going to try to like move Lowry? Are they going to immediately try to move Robinson? Because in my opinion, they're going to try to immediately move something.
I think if you're the Sixers, you probably try to flip Lowry again. Because I mean, at this point, you're basically moving forward with Tyrese Maxey as a point guard,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't have a need for Kyle Lowry. Although Shake opted out of his deal, so you do have a need for a backup point guard. So I guess if you really needed to keep Lowry, you could, but you're probably flipping him again. And depending on how Duncan plays, you probably could flip him too. Because I mean, if he plays with Embiid, he's getting open threes. Him and Maxi's gonna give him open threes, and Embiid's gonna give him open threes. So I feel like it's good. And they have Hero. Hero's 20 points a game. You have three guys on that team can score 20 points at least. Hero and Embiid pick and roll is gonna be deadly.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it works out for both teams. But like I said, the Clippers have the better package. I feel like Miami has the second best package. New York, I feel like New York would give up too much, so it wouldn't make sense for them because they would have to give up. I feel like their players are better than Miami's, but they need their guys more than Miami. Like Miami, like we just saw, like we did fine without Hero. We went to the finals without Hero. Robinson,
In my opinion, you almost played better without Hero.
Yeah, so if you take, I mean, RJ is kind of a wild card, but if you take quickly off of New York, ugh, who's on that bench? Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, you have Hart, but Hart kind of, I think he's basically a starter now, so I don't like that. Quickly was that spark off the bench who kept them in games, who kept their lead, intact.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you on that one.
You already had Brunson.
I just have a hard time, trying to find a home for the man for Harden. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
you just have a hard time finding a home for him.
The Suns don't make sense. Like, are you really gonna send Ayton? You would need 3 teams for that trade, because you would have to get rid of Ayton's money and then find a third team to send him to.
Yeah, but even then, okay, so you get rid of Ayton, but okay, so you have a good starting 4. Then you literally have no money, dude. You have no money. You literally can't do another thing.
And then you have to extend him because he's gonna, wherever he goes, he's gonna want an extension. So you have to. That's gonna be
can't do nothing.
That's gonna be a shit show right there. Lakers, I don't see it. The Lakers could use Harden though, but I don't see any sign-in trades for the Lakers. What about Portland? Portland's interesting, all right? because they do have Scoot. He's not signed yet, so he technically can still be traded. And they have Simons. But do you see? I don't like. Do you like that pairing of Dame and Harden?
No, I don't like the Dame and Harden because Harden, towards the end of his career, has been more assist based. Doesn't fit with Dame really. Dame gets his own assist.
Yeah, I don't see Dame as an off-ball point guard. Like, it doesn't make sense. At least, I mean,
you have to move him to shooting guard at that point.
If you're Philly, do you really want 2 point guards and Simons and Maxey? And then you have, I'm guessing you probably have Scoot too. You have like 4 really good point guards. That's not.
Yeah.
Would Sixers flip Simons again and get someone they could actually use? I don't know.
But
Pelicans.
If I'm Portland, I want to get more size. If I'm getting rid of Simmons, I want size. I immediately want to get rid of Nurkic as soon as I get that ability to. Like
so basically you're saying package Simons, and whatever deal they do, it has to be a package deal of Simons and Nurkic. Man, I feel you on that.
Package. I think a smart move would be like a package deal. You get rid of Simons and Nurkic. You get 2 other good, respectable stars. You re-sign Jeremy Grant. You see what your money's at, and the old reliable guy so far, Podol. Hey Podol, what you doing, bro? How you feeling about Portland, Portal?
It all comes back to Mr. Jakob Podol.
Yeah, I mean, he do fine in that squad. So
hell yeah.
And at that point, all you're trying to do is get a little bit of more bench depth. But to be honest, on that team, if there was a way you can keep Scoot and kind of using, I mean, if it's me, I'm using Scoot at the beginning of the season as a 6th man and then moving his ass to starting unit by midseason. Hopefully before midseason, but like by at least midseason, Scoot's on my starting unit. But I think a better spot for him is coming off the bench a little bit at the beginning.
Or if they trade for Harden, have him come off the bench. If they could keep him. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I mean, Portland's a possibility, but I feel like better than Portland's probably. I feel like Pelicans, they're a sleeper team. If they
move off Zion or keep Zion. Are they keeping Zion? I don't think they're keeping Zion.
I feel like at this point they're keeping him because the only place that made sense was to move him to Portland. I feel like at this point maybe, I mean they say that they like BI, but if they could move Ingram for Harden or CJ, well they don't want CJ. They probably either want Ingram or Zion. But Pelicans are my sleeper team.
Okay. So yeah.
All right, folks. Well, that's the end of the rapid fire. James Harden is he's gonna get traded. We just don't know when. So stay tuned for all that news coverage from us and of course ESPN, Bleacher Report, all that good stuff. But this is the end of the episode. Time to wrap it on up. It's a great episode. Broke down a lot of things from the NFL and the NBA. Lawrence, do you have any closing comments? Anything you want to get off your chest before we head on out?
I had a little bit of sports bet on a little parlay going.
Okay.
I was gonna say my second to last leg just died with the New York Mets. I didn't think the Mets would not win a single series in the month of June. They had the chance to win a series and they just failed. So,
and like that, folks, that's why you don't have to. That's why paying a lot of money for a team doesn't equate to winning. So learn from the Mets if you want to be a sports owner. But this is the end of the MTL Sports Podcast, episode 18. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in on YouTube and Spotify. You can find us on TikTok and Twitter at MTL Sports Podcast. And with that, good night, everyone, and peace.
Peace.
some kind of